Do you know who started this company, which is the best-selling car company in India after Hyundai Maruti Suzuki? It was this South Korean boy named Chung Ju-yung. As a child, he used to work in the fields for 17 hours just for 2 meals a day. Carrying the dream of becoming rich, he ran away from home many times. There were even times when his businesses were destroyed due to floods and war. But still, never giving up, he built Hyundai, one of the world's largest car companies. So if you also think that only the big guys succeed, then you should watch this video completely, because this video is going to change your life. So friends, this story begins in 1915 when Chung Ju-yung was born into a poor Korean family. His father was a farmer who worked in the fields all day to feed his children. Young Chung Ju-yung dreamt of studying and becoming a teacher, but the poverty was so extreme that sometimes they had to sleep on an empty stomach. In such circumstances, getting a good education was nothing more than a beautiful dream for him. Due to the poor financial condition, young Chung spent his days working in the fields with his father. Apart from this, sometimes he would graze animals and sometimes he would cut firewood and take it to the city to sell. But when he saw the city life, he was amazed. Clean people, beautiful clothes, good roads, and no shortage of food. Seeing all this, the thought would come to his mind that if he also went to the city, he might be able to live a good life. But the problem was that his parents would never let their 16-year-old child go alone. During this time, Chung Ju-yung got hold of a newspaper. Hidden in it was news that a construction project was going on in a nearby city and workers were needed for it. And as he knew, his parents would not let him go, so in 1932, he ran away from home without telling anyone. After that, he reached a city called Nan, where he was hired as a laborer in the construction project. Now, as difficult as the work was here, the money received was equally less. Despite this, Chung Ju-yung was satisfied, thinking that at least he was doing something on his own. However, this happiness of his did not last long, because ever since he left home, his parents had been searching for him like crazy, and finally, after 2 months they found him. His father scolded him, explained things to him, and somehow convinced him to bring him back home. Now after coming home, Chung got back into his old chores like working in the fields, grazing animals, and cutting firewood. But his heart was not at all in all this. His mind was always at the construction site. He remembered the moments spent there, which gradually sparked his interest in construction and similar projects. Now while the family was very happy about Chung Ju-yung's return home, Chung started feeling suffocated in his old routine, as if the city was waiting for him. Because of this, he ran away from home 2 more times, but after working in the city for a few days each time, his father would find him, and then, unwillingly, Chung had to return home. However, after this, he gathered courage once again, and at the age of 18, he finally left home and went to Seoul, which is currently the capital of South Korea. Here, he first worked as a laborer on a construction site, but after some time, he got a job in a factory where Chung Ju-yung started working as an assistant. Working like this, within a few days, he got a job as a delivery boy at a rice store called Rice Store, with a good salary. And from here, positive changes started happening in his life. Chung Ju-yung was enjoying his work immensely and was performing his duties with full dedication and honesty. Seeing this, the store owner was very impressed with him, and within just 6 months, he was promoted from delivery boy to shop manager. Then came 1937, when Chung's father fell very ill and didn't have enough strength left to handle the future work. In such a situation, he handed over his rice store to Chung. This is how, at just 22 years of age, Chung went from being an employee of the rice store to its owner through his hard work. And then he renamed the store as Komal Rice Store. After this, on the basis of low price, high quality, and timely delivery, he built a huge customer base. But just when his business was going very well, something happened that forced him to leave everything and return home. Actually, at that time, Korea was under Japanese occupation, and Japan had jumped into World War II. In such a situation, the Japanese government wanted its soldiers to receive rice as needed from time to time during the war. For this, they had taken over all the rice shops there, which included Chung Ju-yung's shop. After this, Chung lived in his village for a year. But then, gathering courage, he took a loan of 3,000 won and in 1940 opened a garage named Ado Service. But unfortunately, just 1 month had passed when a massive flood came, and this business of his was also ruined.
Now the biggest problem before Chung was repaying the loan and compensating the customers for the damaged vehicles. After much thought and consideration, he took another loan of 3,500 won and opened an even bigger garage than before. Chung was very hardworking, due to which people started liking his work, and within just 3 years, he earned so much profit that he paid off all his loans and also convinced his family to come live with him in the city. By this time, his business was going very well and the number of his employees had grown from 1 to 80. But this golden period of his did not last long. Actually, the Japanese government merged his garage with a steel plant to manufacture equipment needed for the war. Meaning, once again, Chung found himself back where he had started. On one hand, there was the sorrow of losing the garage, and on top of that, seeing the growing famine in Seoul, he returned to the village with his family. But the good thing was that Chung had savings of 50,000 won, so he had some courage that he could restart his business. He was just waiting for the war to end. In 1946, World War II ended and Korea became independent from Japanese occupation. The same year, Chung returned to Seoul and started his garage once again, which was named Hyundai Services. After Japan's defeat in World War II, its influence in South Korea had reduced significantly, due to which Chung got the work of repairing US Army trucks. Sometime after this, he noticed that America was building a large number of buildings for its military forces. Seeing this, his old passion for construction, which he had experienced in childhood, was rekindled. Because of this, in 1947, he started Hyundai Civil Industries and started taking contracts for small and medium construction projects. Within the next 3 years, he had advanced his business considerably, and now he was starting to get many big projects. But friends, the struggle did not end here, because in June 1950, a war started between North Korea and South Korea. North Korea started overpowering South Korea and its military forces began besieging Seoul to capture it. In such a situation, fear spread among the people there and everyone started fleeing the city. Chung was among them, who left his business and went to Busan with some savings to save his life. In this war, the US military fully supported South Korea, and during the war itself, Chung noticed that these military forces needed warehouses, army headquarters, and tents in large numbers. Here, Chung saw a big opportunity and he formed a small group and started working on these projects as well. Chung worked for every small and big project. He even incurred losses in many projects, but despite this, he completed the work on time and won the trust of the officials. Now the war ended in 1952, but by that time, Chung's professional relationship with the American forces had become quite strong, due to which he continued to get projects from them later on. Now this war caused massive devastation in South Korea. The infrastructure was shattered, after which the government wanted to rebuild it. And friends, Hyundai Civil Industries played a major role in the redevelopment of South Korea and got many big projects, which included several expressways, the Korean nuclear plant, and dams. After this, in 1960, the Korean government introduced a policy that greatly helped transform Hyundai from a car repairing company into a car manufacturing company. Actually, to strengthen the economy there, the government had made a rule that any foreign automotive company could only do business in South Korea if they tied up with a local company. This rule opened a new opportunity for Hyundai, and without missing it, Chung founded Hyundai Motor Company in 1967. A year later, in 1968, Hyundai partnered with Ford and within 6 months built a huge assembly plant in Ulsan, which is still one of the world's largest automobile plants. Its annual production capacity is 1.6 million units and 75,000 highly skilled employees from different parts of the world work there. Anyway, in the joint venture with Ford, Hyundai launched the Hyundai Cortina, modeled on Ford's famous car, the Ford Cortina. But friends, since Ford is an American company, its Cortina was also designed for the roads there, whereas South Korea had not yet fully recovered from the war's potholes. In such a situation, the Hyundai Cortina proved to be a huge failure for the company. The company suffered significant losses from this and people started demanding refunds. But before Chung could deal with all these problems, in 1969, a terrible flood occurred in which the entire Ulsan assembly plant was submerged. The newly manufactured cars were also filled with water and the company even faced the prospect of shutting down. But friends, Chung had seen so much failure in his life that he had almost become accustomed to it. He restarted the plant, worked on all kinds of problems, and relaunched Hyundai in the market, which this time was quite successful. However, in 1974, there was another problem waiting for Chung. Actually, Ford did not like at all that Hyundai was going to launch a car under its own name, because Ford was not getting recognition in South Korea. Due to this, a conflict started between the two companies, and in 1974, Ford terminated the contract with Hyundai. Suddenly, this seemed like it would ruin everything for Hyundai, because until then, Hyundai did not have car manufacturing technology and relied on Ford for it. After this contract ended, Chung desperately started looking for a new partner who could also share manufacturing technology with them. For this, he proposed deals with the big players of that time, Volkswagen and General Motors. But both these companies rejected it. And then after this, Chung also tried to make a deal with Japan's Mitsubishi Motors, and this deal was finalized, in which Mitsubishi Motors accepted the agreement to share its car manufacturing technology with Hyundai. After this, Hyundai started focusing entirely on developing its own car, for which it hired George Turnbull, the former managing director of the British company Austin Morris. And friends, under George Turnbull's leadership, he hired 5 more engineers for this project, which included body design expert Kenneth Barnett, car engineer John Simpson, Edward Chapman, former chief engineer of BRM, British Racing Motors, John Crosthwaite, vehicle weight and development engineer, and Peter Slater, development engineer, like highly skilled professionals. Now friends, during this time, the South Korean government asked the car manufacturing company to create a car that was completely made in Korea and also so affordable that maximum people could use it. Keeping this in mind, the company set up a new plant and started manufacturing cars, keeping in mind all the government norms. Finally, in 1975, Hyundai launched its first self-made car, which was named the Pony. This car was not only affordable but also had high performance and excellent design. The Pony was so successful in South Korea that within some time it captured 60% of the car market there, making Hyundai the largest car company in the country. After this success, Chung decided to manufacture 300,000 cars, after which every expert started laughing because the total market demand in South Korea was only 30,000 cars. In such a situation, manufacturing 300,000 cars made no sense at all. But friends, Chung was thinking big here, because he launched his new cars not only in South Korea but also in foreign markets. In 1982, Hyundai entered the British market, where in the very first year, it sent 2,093 cars. Then, in 1984, it launched the Pony in the Canadian market, which became very famous due to its affordability, and the company succeeded in developing a strong presence there as well. However, by now, Hyundai had made its mark in many countries, but entering a major market like America was still not possible for it. And friends, the main reason for this was the emission norms, which Hyundai's cars were not perfectly meeting. To enter the American market, the company manufactured a new car according to the emission criteria, which was named the Hyundai XL. During that time, Hyundai had realized that there was a huge market for second-hand cars there. In such a situation, the company targeted these very customers and in 1986 launched the Hyundai XL in the American market at the price of a second-hand car with a 5-year warranty. With this strategy, the company succeeded in attracting the targeted customers and sold 170,000 cars in its very first year, astonishing other car companies. But friends, this figure saw an even greater jump the following year, because in 1987, Hyundai sold 270,000 cars there, due to which the XL was America's top-selling car in these 2 years. Now friends, while the Excel car helped Hyundai strengthen its presence and establish its identity as a major car company on a global level, due to the car's affordability and some technical issues, it started being called a cheap Korean brand after some time. Now friends, to get the company out of this image, engineers experimented extensively, opened many R&D centers, and after much research, during the 1990s, many feature-loaded cars like the Hyundai Sonata and Hyundai Santa Fe were launched in the market. And friends, all these cars were very successful. Along with this, the company's reputation worldwide also improved significantly. Chung Ju-yung passed away in 2001, but the company he built is still moving forward on the path of progress. Today, Hyundai operates in 193 countries with an annual selling capacity of 5 million cars. Along with this, it is the world's third largest car manufacturer in terms of production, after Toyota and Volkswagen, with its business spread across 193 countries. Last year, Hyundai sold 6.845 million units worldwide, out of which the company set a new record by selling 8,76,007 units in India alone. Currently, it is the second largest car manufacturer in India, giving tough competition to domestic companies like Mahindra and Tata. So friends, in this way, Chung Ju-yong's never-say-die attitude not only made Hyundai one of the top brands in the world, but also made a huge contribution to the development and economy of South Korea.